Final topic of the day, as always, brought to you, big, beautiful kids over in the Kind of Funny forums. Go to kindoffunny.com/Gamescast topic to leave your topic. Get it right on the show. Just like my boy Bojans91 did.
Bojans!
Hey guys, lately we hear more and more about people playing games but not calling themselves gamers. We refer to them as casuals, but they spend as much hours per week playing games as we do. I think that people who are interested in games outside of playing them, i.e. reading about them and watching videos and reviews, do call themselves gamers more often than not, like us. The other part of the people buying Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA every year, and that's all they really care about. I don't know. That's my take on it. What do you guys think?
Rambling train of thought. I don't know.
So that's the whole thing. I guess the question that he's trying to ask is like the idea of the casual gamer versus the hardcore gamer versus the gamer in the middle.
Yeah.
What do you qualify yourselves as, and do you think any of this matters?
No, it definitely doesn't matter. I still, if we're talking to somebody and they need clarity on who we are, I guess, then I would say we're hardcore gamers, sure. But I would never go turn around and be like, the joke filthy casual on the shirt and everything else. I hate calling people casual gamers. You know, it's what is always talked about, right? And the fact is it shows how young the industry is. Like, I'm a gamer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a movie watcher. I might like detectives or dramas or whatever, but I don't even say that, right? Like, I love, it's a foregone conclusion you love movies or like TV or like books. You know what I mean? Like most people, it's rare to meet somebody who's like, I fucking hate books. I hate TV, that I have nothing that would ever motivate me to watch one of those things. So like as we move towards the thing where the walls fall down and yes, everyone games in some way. And my mom, I will never forget when my mom wanted a Wii. And then when she bought a 3DS on her own, I was like, fucking shit. All right, cool, Mom.
Library.
But like that, you know, for everything that's wrong about mobile gaming, that's one of the things it has done is that it's brought a whole bunch of people in. And, you know, granted, maybe only 1% of those people ever move over to our kind of gaming or play games that we really care about. But they're playing games and good enough, whatever. You know what I mean? It'll eventually be a foregone conclusion that everybody plays games at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think about this a lot because I get a lot of shit. Like people like insult me by saying I'm a casual gamer.
The internet insults you?
I'm a casual gamer. Like I don't really like I'm not mad at that. Like I play a lot of games casually. I play a few games hardcore. Like I am a hardcore player of certain games.
Smash.
And I am just a gamer in general when it comes to being knowledgeable. Like I think that I err on the hardcore when it comes to knowledge of the industry and the overall thing. But it's like when it comes to playing, I'm not playing all these online things. Like I'm not playing so many of the AAA games that come out. So it's like, all right, does that not make me hardcore? Does that make me casual? I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's more funny about the people that get all upset about which one you fit into or not.
And that's the problem is when we sit there and start trying to, well, that's a casual gamer and I'm a hardcore gamer, and they give you shit. Well, like all we're doing is pushing people away from us, which is one of the reasons I loved gaming to begin with, is because like when you met other gamers, like, oh, you like what I like? Awesome.
That's right. I think the semantics of what terminology we use to describe each other does matter, but I think it matters in a negative way because it really maintains that stigma of what the majority of gamers are, which are people who are fucking playing on Facebook or playing on their phone, and that's great. If that's the stuff you want to do, that's awesome. It's not what I personally want to do, but it allows them, like, they're playing games as much, if not more than I am, and yet they will sneer at me when I say I'm really excited for Fallout or something, and you explain what that video game is. And so like, the words to me do matter because that's really negative, you know. Sure. And everyone just needs to appreciate, we're all just gamers.
Yeah.
Whatever
and
you're into,
it's funny too.
You want to play,
they're talking about Call of Duty or Madden, and it's just like, those games change over time. You know what I mean? Like it used to be Halo, and it was always Madden. But like, it's just funny. Like that is casual, but mobile games also casual, and Nintendo's also casual. It's like, all right, well, when you start putting all those things next to each other, there's not too many common threads between all of them.
And that's what all those games that you just said are so annoying. Of the fact of like you can be a hardcore gamer and you love Destiny, you only play Destiny, you're amazing at Destiny, and then you meet somebody who only plays Madden, you're gonna call them a casual player. Yeah. Like you know how good a really good Madden player is. You know what I mean?
Casual about like the average Madden or FIFA player that I know is nothing casual. That's
they're reading defenses. They know where to go, when to blitz, how to pinch their line. Like, okay.
Yeah. All right. A Bit of Bite says, hey guys, this question is for Colin, though open to all. You often say that the games released this console generation are really nothing new and could have existed on PS3 or 360. With VR happening in the near future, will we see some new genre-defying games, or will it be the same shit, different display?
Yeah, it might be the same shit, different display. I just think it's the way that we're going to play these games that are going to be different. I always talk about Valkyrie as a space simulator, but it's a combat shooter, that flight simulator. Been around, these things have been around for years and years, but it's going to be a new way to play them. So I think that the perspective is going to be different, and I think therefore the genre will be almost different inherently. Like a VR flight sim as opposed to a regular flight sim they're just two different genres basically because of the perspective and the way you play them. I do stand by that comment. that there's nothing new this generation at all, and I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah.
I just think it's just an observation that I've slowly come to realize that like there's nothing new under the sun in games right now, and that just might be the way it is. I mean, is there really anything new in movies? You know, like but we still enjoy them, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think VR is going to be definitely a game changer, though. You know, pardon the pun, in terms of the way we consume games and the way we play them. I think it might be the biggest paradigm shift for us since, I don't know, dual analog sticks maybe or something like that. Like that's a real, or internet connections. Like I just think it's going to be a significant change. Yeah.
What do you think, Al?
I don't know with VR. I don't think VR is going to end up where we think it's going to end up. I think it's going to do something more left field and more to do with the general public than to do with games. I'm not really sure how it's going to fit into the gaming space, to be honest. Like I've tried a couple of things on it and I felt nauseous most of the time.
Which ones were you using? Oculus or
Oculus? Yeah, both times. Yeah. And also it's just that, you know, Google Glass is really cool. Like the concept of Google Glass and a lot of functionality of what it does is actually really fucking cool. How many people use it? Not many people, because you feel like a dickhead, you know? And it's like VR's like something that it's really cool, all the stuff it can do, but how many people are actually going to want to strap all that stuff in and plug in everything and do it? Like, I don't know. And the spatial awareness is something that worries me. I'm more interested in augmented reality personally, because I don't like not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
But in terms of like with new games, like, I think VR is the best chance, but I think new as well, which means like, you know, a huge jump in something, and everything's incremental most of the time. So you don't notice it as something becomes new, and VR's, the best chance for that, but whether it'll actually retain that, I'm not convinced personally.
Brash Candiboot says, hey guys, what do you think is going on at BioWare? Just saw that Mass Effect Andromeda's editor is leaving. There have already been multiple departures from Mass Effect / BioWare. Should we be concerned?
No. I think what's happening is they have probably wrapped the script. They can start letting people go in terms of, you know, or they feel like their job's done. They're going to be bored waiting to sit around and see what they need to rewrite or do whatever. And you can just start shrinking down the team. It's the same thing that always happens where video games ramp up, and then when the game comes out, you start losing people. But in terms of a BioWare RPG and the thousands of lines of dialogue, you figure that's got to be done pretty early to get it into the game. And granted, there'll be rewrites and there'll be the rewrites and changes and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a huge sign of trouble ahead.
Yeah, designers and writers are the tip of the spear. So, you know, once the spear has entered the flesh, then it's everything behind it that's most important, is going to do the most damage, and those guys' jobs are done.
Dawson2938 says, what's up, guys? Not sure if it was on this show or the Game Over Greggy show, but Tim has recently recommended 2 mobile games, Pagel Blast and Tomb of the Mask. I love them both. Don't get me wrong, I love playing with my PS4, but it's nice to be able to have small games to play while I'm at school. So what other mobile games would you guys recommend?
Study while you're in school.
And especially Colin, I feel like you will have great choices. That's the part
Foul
that
play
I'm
on
not
Vita.
so sure about. But I've talked about most of these games before, but going on my thing, Jetpack Joyride's an old one, but if you just
Also
are
available
looking,
on Vita.
Yeah. All right. Get it on your fucking phone. If you enjoyed the types of games like Pagel Blast, like I was talking about, them, you're going to love Jetpack Joyride. It's really addicting. You're going to play it a lot. Rayman Run is also another interesting one. They really kind of nailed what a 2D platformer should be on a mobile game, where you're not actually controlling. They're just constantly running forward. And you're just making them jump and glide and do the hair thing and all that stuff. And it's awesome. Pac-Man 256. It's Pac-Man just with a really cool twist. And then Horizon Chase, if you're into old school arcade racer games like the Tony USA and all that stuff, definitely check that out. And then Lara Croft Go and Hitman Go are both absolutely fantastic. And they're also available on Vita if you want trophies. And
Thank you.
But, you know, you should play them on your phone because you have your phone on you always.
Or you also have your Vita on you all the time. Right now,
I
I forgot that I have to download Batman v Superman. Who will win? An endless runner featuring Batman and Superman.
See how much fun you have with that one, Greg.
Superman running.
Yeah, well, he's flying. I think Batman. I don't. Well,
Yeah.
you know what?
We're
We're gonna do a
running
live demo here. And first
Oh,
impressions.
Lord.
I apparently don't know my Apple ID anymore.
Bob SJ says, hey guys, I recently saw Colin tweet something about how he plays games inverted. I do this as well and was wondering, A, what are those different settings do you guys play with? Inverted, vibration on / off, etc. And B, what do you guys think it is that causes some of us to play inverted or not? I don't know what causes it. It's probably some weird right side, left side brain shit that I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
Well, it seems to be the percentage seems to be the same as people who are left-handed. About 10% of people play inverted, apparently. It seems to be, something different about a person's brain and the way they perceive the world. Because to me, I'm ambidextrous, so like I mainly do everything with my left hand, but I write with my right hand. It's basically the only thing I do with my right hand is write. I grab things, open things with my left hand. I throw with my left hand. I bat lefty. I play hockey
What do
lefty.
you slow
all those
jerk it
things.
with?
I slow jerk with my left hand. So like, but I write with my right hand, and but like my left hand is my dominant hand, and so I don't know if there's a left-right correlation between inverted and non-inverted, but to me it makes a lot of sense for Y inversion to stick the stick in the back of a person's head and you press it down to look up. That makes perfect sense to me. Why I'm not inverting X, I don't know. So I mean, but I didn't. A lot of people that invert also grew up with PC games and flight simulators and stuff, and I didn't grow up in that and with those. So I don't know how or when or where this happened. It might be something as simple as back in the day there weren't inversion options in some games, and you did play inherently inverted or inherently not inverted. And I wonder if I just grasped, like my brain just grasped onto a game I played as a young kid. Where that just made sense. So that when I got to the dual analog kind of era, or the camera control era, I should even say that, that's just how I played, and that's how I've always played.
Yeah. I went through, I mean, we talked about this on the show before, but I went through bouts where my controls were all types of fucked because I was so used to Star Fox and GoldenEye, and it was inverted in that. So when I played Halo and stuff for the first time, like I would change my controls. So it was inverted, and I think it was called Southpaw Legacy controls, which meant that you are moving forward and looking left and right with the left stick, and you're strafing right and left and looking up and down inverted on the right stick. And I was just like, that's how GoldenEye played, so this makes sense to me.
It might be GoldenEye.
And then one day all of a sudden it just literally just snapped. I'm like, I can't play like this anymore. I have to play normally. And then it's weird because then we'll default, whatever.
No, I agree with you. It's
okay,
normal.
yeah. But then you play, like I played the new Star Fox on Wii U, and it's weird how even with flight simulators, there's moments where it kind of breaks me, where I'm like, huh, like I kind of want this to play like a shooter does for me, where it's default normal or whatever. But nowadays I just play with the default. But other random control things, this isn't control so much, but I always make sure subtitles are on because I like to know exactly what's being said, and I like to turn vibration off for certain things, for like fighting games and stuff like Smash Bros. I guess I was so used to the Wavebird that didn't have
Hell yeah,
rumble.
Wavebird.
So then now when I play with the normal GameCube controller, I try to turn off the vibration because it just feels like it gets in my way.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's such a slight weird thing. I'm not like I'm a fucking pro, but like it just feels like it's making me worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys do any weird shit?
I'm the exact opposite of you. Like I always, like the first thing I do when I get any video game is I go on options to make sure the subtitles are off. Like that's the most important thing to
I
me.
hate subtitles.
Because it just breaks my any immersion.
Exactly. Because then I don't watch the scene at all. I read the words.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh shit.
And I watch my girlfriend doing it with the subtitles. She doesn't bother going in the options. She'll just read it and then she'll just press B, skip the
Yeah,
cutscenes.
yeah.
And I'm like, when you're watching it, so I read it already. I'm like, yeah, but people,
The performance.
people mocapped up for
Travis
this.
Willingham
And you're just
works
skipping
so
it.
hard. Kim, are you ready for my first hands-on? Now I'm Batman,
Yeah.
and I'm running, and I jump. Whoa, jumping high. Come down. Oh, Batman just flies forever. Okay, now he's down. I swipe left. Oh, no, Batman. All right, it's a swipe game, Colin. I'm swiping. This is the future of games, Colin.
Great.
Final question.
Why they didn't put this on the
anymore.
Vita? I don't know.
You don't have to play it with other people though. So
Yeah, that's good.
Final question from Ebo Show. Hey guys, should we be excited about Take-Two being at E3 or will Rockstar just stay away? What do you think?
I don't know that Take-Two being at E3 indicates that Rockstar's going to be there, but maybe that would be interesting.
It'd be such a huge change for Rockstar to be there, you know?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they would need to.
Mm.
Take-Two being there is interesting, but what's more interesting is like everyone dropping out of E3. Disney and I think War Gaming are the last one. The most recent one is Activision and EA, which are huge absences. I don't know. It would be interesting if they announced Red Dead or something. I wonder if it'll be at one of the conferences or something like that.
Yeah.
But remember, Take-Two owns 2K, right? So it could be BioShock. It could be like any of those other things, a Civilization game or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still expect you to hear about Red Dead this year. That's still my prediction. Is that we'll get Red Dead at some, but E3 I would be awesome, but it sounds not Rockstar's
Not
MO
their
in their Rockstar
style.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not going to do that just because 2K or Take-Two told them to.
Yeah.
They definitely want to do it if 2K told them to.
Didn't someone come out yesterday from Take-Two and say that they weren't interested in bleeding franchises dry or something?
Right.
Yeah, we read that on Colin and Greg, and it was great to read that where they're like, we could obviously do this, but we don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Very smart move.
yeah, and that's why. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just saying that's why GTA 5 is GTA 5 sold like what is it, like 50 or 60 million copies or something like that, because they don't milk Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And so Grand Theft Auto 6, when it comes out in 2018 or 2019, whatever it's going to be, like they didn't even support it with single player DLC. So it's amazing like how much that game sold, how much that paid off for them to just treat it with a little bit of care.
Do you think because the publishers won't be there though, E3, it's going to change what's actually on the show floor? Because I was talking about this with a bunch of my friends who's, we're going as a company, and it's a bunch of them are coming with us for the first time ever to E3, and they're reading all this stuff, and they're like,
they're getting depressed.
yeah,
Like, why do we go to this?
It's not
E3?
comprehensive anymore, It's like you want to go there and know that somewhere on the floor there's almost everything you want to find,
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think a lot of those games aren't going to be represented then?
Well, I think
No,
Call of
they'll
Duty
be
will be
there.
in the booth, like, Microsoft's booth or Sony's booth or both and stuff like that. I just think that these guys are looking to save money.
Yeah.
Wargaming made a really astute thing where they're like, we don't even make a retail game. Like, why would we don't need to be at E3. And Disney's like, we want to connect directly with our fans, which I thought said a lot about media. And how unimportant it is for them for media to play their stuff like they don't care. So I think gaming is just the way games are covered is changing. I think E3 is spiraling. I think E3 is going to die.
You figure usually for the
not now or next year or the year after, but I think E3 is on its way out.
for the big publishers, and heads up, Superman doesn't fly, he just runs, which is weird. The big publishers, their games were always at Sony and Microsoft's booth. It was like they had their own, sure, and they'd have exclusive content there. That's where you'd meet for media. But in terms of fans getting their games, yeah, you'll still see Call of Duty or whatever at these places if it's playable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll have them there, ready to go. Madden will be there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I remember back when Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was announced, like that was one of the big games on the show floor that everyone wanted to actually play. And if you go to Capcom's booth, you had to wait forever to get to it. Everyone was swarming it. But you just walk over to the Xbox booth and there was just a small little kiosk with it playing and no one knew.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the first ever episode 61 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Al, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Where should people follow you?
I'm Mr. Al White on everything, including Xbox. And my company is We Are Tessellate. And you can go on iTunes, type in Tessellate, and there's a podcast called Geeks that we do that goes up once a week. We talk about video games and movies and stuff like that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been quite the adventure. Thank you guys,
Thank
as
you.
always. I love you all. We'll see you next week.